Well, hello there, friends. How are you? Welcome to the stream. I I decided to have an open room and invite people in to come and ask questions. And you can ask whatever you like, and I will do my best to answer. Um, in particular, there was a few things I wanted to address until we have somebody that wants to come in. But there was some there's some accusations made about me last night that I didn't see until first thing this morning. Um, and it was a certain toothless wonder that had her friends going around and uh, claiming that I'm stalking this particular person. And it's like, this person has been out of my life for like 2.5 months. It has been wonderfully quiet, and it was perfect. This person had deleted their channel, they were gone, and I didn't have to worry about them anymore. If they wanted to create a new YouTube channel and post all the way, all the power to them. I had no idea where the new channel was, didn't bother looking for it. As far as I was concerned, this person was gone and out of my life, and I would have preferred for it to stay that way. Um, but it's amusing that I'm the one that's accused of stalking when this person went out of their way to create a new account just to comment on the stream that I was doing that I had to immediately block. And then went running to Isaac because this person, whenever, and this has happened like 3 or 4 times in the past. It's fucking ridiculous how childish this person is. But anytime I've had any type of disagreements with anybody on the internet, this person immediately runs to the person that I have beef with. And it's fucking pathetic. It really, really is. Because back before I was friends with Will and Smokey, and I had first started interacting with Smokey, and him and Will weren't the nicest to me. She went running to them and was trying to give them all kinds of dirt and stuff like that. I've had a good laugh with Will about it. Because he knows all about that. I keep Will updated on stuff because we talk a lot. So, but she went running to Smokey and Will when I was having disagreements with them. There was another YouTuber at the time. His name, I was an atheist. He was a Christian, and I was reviewing his videos. And she went running to him. I made a video about a TikToker named Stephen Hilton. I responded. I did like a stitch on TikTok for Stephen Hilton, for one of his videos. She went running to him, and it's like, oh, and Ziad. She went so that's 5. There's 5 total. When I was beefing with a guy named Ziad, he was stealing pictures of my children. She ran to him, and then now, because I'm having a disagreement with Isaac, now she's running to Isaac. So for somebody to sit here and try and point the finger at me and claim that I'm a stalker, but then you go and run and involve yourself in any type of disagreement I have with anyone else on the internet, even though it's got nothing to do with you, but you would purposely involve yourself because it's me, and then sit there and claim that I'm the stalker is fucking hilarious. It is hilarious. It just goes to show how sad and pathetic this person is. Um, so I mean, if you want to be friends with Isaac, all the power to you. You two will make the perfect pair. You're both on the same intellectual level. Um, and you both have kind of the same mindset, the same spirit, as Isaac would say. You have the same spirit. So you two are cut out for each other. Have fun with that. But anyway, I just wanted to see if I was getting stream sniped because some particular people like to do that because they're too cowardly to come over here and actually come in and talk to me. So they're gonna hide behind their own streams and stream snipe instead. So I mean that speaks more to their character than it does to mine. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Truthfully, this is bringing people to my channel. The more publicity, the better. Sure, why not? So yeah, go for it. Keep blasting my name out there all the way. I've just in the last week alone, I've gained 10 subscribers. So I have no problem with that. Actually, 11 subscribers I've gained in the last week. So I'm not going to complain at all. No publicity is bad publicity, as my friend Duncan likes to say. So yeah, there was some things that I wanted to kind of talk about, and I'm going to bring up a video here. 1 second. I gotta share my screen. Why, hello there, Trusty Ape. How are you? Happy holidays. We are right now. We're supposed to get, I don't know. I've heard all kinds of things. I've heard we're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow overnight, and I've heard we're supposed to get up to 8 inches. I don't know. It is snowing right now, and there's like a very light dusting on the ground. It's supposed to get really heavy overnight. So, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like in the morning. I'm supposed to be heading to church with my child for a little Christmas kind of concert thing. And then my in-laws are coming with us, but we're going to a local retirement home where my husband's grandmother is living. And we're supposed to be singing some carols and mingling with the residents there. And yeah, so it's really going to all depend on whether the weather is going to cooperate with us or not. I'm not entirely sure. But I suppose we'll see what tomorrow brings. Not last week, but the week before, December 2nd, they had actually closed the schools and stuff because we were supposed to get up to 5 inches. But we got maybe an inch, and it was like a really heavy wet snow. So it was more like slush. And by the afternoon it started raining and it was all gone. So they had pretty much closed the schools for a bunch of snowy rain, really. So I don't know. I don't know how much I trust these weather folks because they always tell me that snow is coming, and then nothing happens. It seems like in this particular area of Pennsylvania where we are, They really don't get much snow anymore. I've been living here since October of 2022, and I can probably count the number of days that we've gotten snow on one hand. That's how little snow. And I mean, I know that has a lot to do with climate change, because, back home in Canada, um, we get a lot of less snow up there too. But when it does snow, it snows. So, um, be careful. Be careful out there and stay warm because it's supposed to get really, really cold. I think more of the concern with the weather this weekend is about how the temperatures are dropping. So it's supposed to snow all through tonight, and then it's supposed to turn into like a wet rain. And then it's supposed to get really, really cold. So then the danger would be it's freezing. And then that's when the roads get really, really scary. So hopefully I've got a lot of plans and my whole day tomorrow is planned out. So I'm hoping that the weather cooperates enough that we can do that. Sounds like fun. It's been very cold here. San Francisco had the coldest temperature on record in over 100 years. Ooh, yeah, I'm battling the mucus goblins and trying to keep working. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better. I know that's rough being sick and um fortunately, I've only been sick once so far this cold and flu season. Um, but things are making the rounds in the office, so I have a feeling it's only a matter of time before we all get sick. So I'm just hoping that it either happens, a good amount of time before we go to Canada, or it waits until after we come home from Canada. We're only going up to Canada for like 3 days. So I'm just asking for good health for those 3 days. If we can get sick when we come home, that's not a problem. But yeah, this time of year, it's brutal. Everybody's got germs, everybody's stuck inside, and the viruses and all that crap just seem to cycle around everybody until the weather improves and we can all get outside and, enjoy the fresh air and get rid of all that crap, you know. But if you guys have questions and you want to pop in, then absolutely go for it. Um, okay. So that's good to know. Oh boy. But it's amusing how some people just the obsession is real. And it's like, do you not have anything else going on in your life that you could find to do or focus on other than me? I don't know what's so interesting about me that makes people so upset, you know? I mean, to claim that somebody is stalking you and not have any evidence to back that up, and then sit here and purposely make a new YouTube channel just so that you can comment. And not only that, like not only create a new YouTube channel, but to sub to my new YouTube channel so that you have the ability to comment, because uh I have comments set so that so you have to be subscribed to my channel because I want to try and avoid the bots coming in and commenting on my live streams. So I have it set to subscribers only. Well, hello there. Are you home now? How are the roads?
They are mildly snowy.
Mildly snowy?
Yes.
We're supposed to get a lot of snow overnight.
It's going to be a decent amount, I guess.
So I don't know if Molly and I are going to be able to go to church in the morning. It's going to depend on what the weather looks like. But I mean, I need to go to church tomorrow because it's my...
You need Jesus.
It's my Sunday school day.
You need Jesus.
It's my Sunday school day, and there's supposed to be a cute little like concert thingy. And I was looking forward to that. but you know, um, I do work in children's ministry now, which is a lot of fun. Um,
You're gonna say you're corrupting the children's.
oh, Isaac did accuse me of corrupting the children's yesterday.
I saw that. I saw it.
Yeah, because he
Corrupting the children's.
he thinks I'm a teacher, and it's like, no, I'm not a teacher. Never at any point did I claim I was a teacher. I'm not even a teacher in the Sunday school. All I do is help. So I hand out the activities. I hand out the snacks.
You
I
don't
take
understand.
them for bathroom breaks.
Whatever he believes is true, that's the reality.
Yeah, well, he tried to. He also tried to say that because I work in conflict resolution in HR, that somehow translates to me being a teacher. I'm like, what?
I mean, if you live in his little reality, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's interesting because
Gotta fabricate some outrage to get real mad about.
I know it's like you got to seek things out because you got nothing else.
Real familiar.
Yeah, it is real familiar. Absolutely, because our favorite person made a whole video for Isaac today that he streamed
Jeez.
bitching about me. So, in one breath, she's saying, I can't get away from her. And then in the next, she's jumping in the drama and making videos to talk about me some more. And it's like, do you not see your own
I just
hypocrisy?
need everyone to see how much of a victim I am.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Everyone needs to know.
Everybody needs to know that I'm the big victim. Poor me. Poor big mean old Mindy.
Life is just so hard.
I know.
And if you could just be really mean to this one person on the internet,
I
it would
know.
make it a little bit easier on me.
I know. I don't know. I don't understand that logic, but okay. It's like it's just like somebody that wants your attention so badly that they have to throw themselves into a middle of a situation that's got nothing to do with them just because they're attacking somebody that you don't like. And it's like
everybody has to have a hobby. It's just unfortunate that some people chose to have the hobby of being a really shitty human being.
yeah, I know. My life was so nice and peaceful for 2.5 months, and then someone has to show up and thrust herself into the middle of a situation just because I'm involved, and it's like, wow, that's sad.
That's why I just ignore those types of people for the most part.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not falling back into her little.
I'll shit talk very briefly, and then I will continue about my business because.
Yeah, I mean there's really there's nothing. Conflict resolution is in fact a skill. Yes, it is. That's why my title was changed when our new HR director came in.
Not only is it a skill, but it is a skill that is rare in our society.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or just my enemy's enemy. Yeah, but yeah, I know. But regardless of that whole situation, like I don't understand the logic of how you can sit here and complain and say this person's a parasite that I've been trying to get away from for all of these years. And then you turn around and thrust yourself into a situation that directly involves me just so that you can have your say. Like, if you want to get away from me so bad, then why are you forcing your way back into my life?
Not just the comment on the video, but even the fact that she came to your video in the first place. That in and of itself. I mean, I know she commented and she was trying to say flowery things or nice.
Oh, she was trying to say flowery things, but like that's the thing. We had come to an agreement that there was going to be no contact between the two of us because she filed a police report. I filed a police report. I've been in contact with a lawyer. That to me says, hey, we need to. Did you just drop a bomb in the living room?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Jesus. So, but like, I thought we were at an understanding, right? But then to bypass all of that to comment directly on my video, I mean, I don't know. I've talked to a lawyer about you. I've filed a police report. I have over 100 pieces of documentation proving of your harassment that I have sent both to the police and the lawyer. So I don't know what possessed this person to come and comment on my video and involve themselves in my life again. That's a choice that this person made. That doesn't make sense. If you wanted to get away from me, then why involve yourself? Why make a video talking about me? That just, I mean, that it just goes to show the IQ level of this person.
I feel like it's even more succinct just to say, like I can't stand this person, and they're always trying to come after me and say bad things about me.
Yeah.
And they always, they make really nasty videos about me. Now I'm gonna go watch one of their videos just to make myself even more upset about the fact that they do or do not talk about me.
Yeah.
Or,
it's like
I'm never gonna talk about this person. I'm gonna ignore them. And everything's gonna be fine.
I want to get away from this person, but let me
and watch your old videos.
Immediately jumps into my video to make a comment. Like, created a YouTube account so that she could subscribe to my channel because only subscribers can comment, and then comment on my video. Like, that's a lot of effort for somebody that you say you want to get away from or that you can't get away from. Like, it's been 2.5 months, man. You thrust yourself back into my life. I wasn't seeking you out, like.
I came to the conclusion that this woman was unhinged months ago when I suddenly got a friend request on Discord.
Oh yeah, I know.
But
but to sit here and claim that I'm stalking when she's sending my husband friend requests on Discord and, trying to follow me, on, I think it was, what was it, TikTok that she followed me on?
I don't know.
And it's just like, dude, like, so what? The obsession is just disturbing.
I appreciate that there's someone who cares so much about our personal life, but we need to watch every aspect of what we're doing. But
I know.
At the same time, that's a little uncomfortable for us.
Well, it's just
we are not worth that level of attention.
No. I mean, I'm glad that I'm so important in her life that she felt the need to make herself known again and directly involve herself in a situation that, that has to do with me. But like, I mean, she's done that 4 other times before. It just so happens that Isaac was able to eat it up and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna," you know what I mean? Like, it's silly, it's childish. And I mean, if that's the way they want to live their lives, then that's on them. But, life does go on, I haven't had to deal with this person for 2.5 months and it's been beautiful. And then she just, doesn't give me a choice and just kind of shows up again. And it's like, dude, what's your problem? You obviously didn't want to be away that bad. But she was missing me, I guess. But, and it's like, it's funny because Isaac was streaming her video. I didn't watch the video. I just happened to see that, like, when I clicked over there when because I think I was in Dave's stream and somebody was like, "Oh, Isaac's stream sniping." So I went over there to look and he had Jenny Sue's video pulled up and I was like, "Oh, look at that. Her new channel. I can go block it." So I went to it and I went to block it. But I did watch her very first video, the first couple minutes of it, and she made it like almost 2 weeks ago. So she created this channel like 2 weeks ago. And in her very first video, of course, she's talking about me. And she goes, "Oh, she's going to see this and she's going to get her panties in a bunch." And it's like, dude, I wasn't looking for your videos. You made that all 2 weeks ago. Obviously, I didn't see it because I wasn't looking for you, So it's like the only thing that she really did. Hi, Whitney, how are you? The only thing that she really did was just give me the opportunity to block her new channel. Like, she did me a favor, so that's totally fine. I don't have a problem with the publicity that's coming to my channel. What I did want to share is I kind of wanted to talk about when, well, you're not going to want to listen to this because I'm just going to talk about my baptism. Wah, wah. I know you don't like talking about that stuff, but that's okay.
Christianity bad.
All right, let me share my screen because I want to share the video. And then I want to talk about the video just a little bit. Okay, bye. You gonna go play your game?
I'm going to go yes.
Okay, have fun. I wanted to share this. When I click on it, it's going to start right away. So,
Mindy, is it true that you trusted Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior?
Yes.
And is it true that you're following after him today in believer's baptism?
Yes.
It is my privilege to now baptize you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Mindy,
all right, we don't need to see it played again. But so that video was taken. Oh, I want to remove this. Stop screen. There we go. So that was a video of my baptism, and that happened on July 19th of 2025. I did post that on YouTube. I did start like a religion channel, but I kind of fell off on it simply because it's hard enough keeping up with one YouTube channel, having multiple channels. I don't know how the big people do it, but it's hard to focus. I have a hard enough time being consistent on this one channel than to deal with other channels. I've tried with other channels in the past and it just doesn't work out because I just don't have enough time to deal with them all. But anyway, so I was very hesitant to post that video on my channel and share it. And this entire past week, and I guess this is another kind of kudos that I can throw to Smokey for this. And if you're watching this and you don't like Smokey, I mean, that's totally fine. I respect that. Not everybody has to like Smokey. I have developed a friendship with Smokey, and I'm happy with that. And I talked to Smokey, I talked to Will, I talked to that whole group of people, and um, I mean, I understand that other people have history with Smokey that they may not agree with or whatever. But I mean, I've been going to the LDS church for the past month. They haven't asked to baptize me yet. Wow. I've never been to an LDS church before. I haven't actually ever really met anybody that goes to an LDS church that I know of. I probably have met them like in person, but they haven't told me that they're LDS. So, but I've been going to, it's a non-denominational church. And it's just been, overall, it's been a really positive experience. And it's really, really helped with my mental health, which is kind of the big draw for me. And you all right? Husband's hacking up a lung in there. But anyway, the experience of going to the church has been really, really good for me. And I think the biggest thing in my conversion to Christianity has been believing in God has brought me a lot of peace. And I don't really know how else to describe it other than it feels peace. I feel peace. And that's something that I really needed. And I think that God knew that I needed that. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So in all of this stuff that's happened with Smokey this week, and I still believe 100% that God has a reason for everything that he's doing. And I was really struggling. So I've been going to church since May of last year. I have been Christian officially since June of sometime, I think. Give me a second. I can give you an exact date because, funnily enough, the night that I prayed and accepted Jesus, I messaged Smokey to tell him. So if I just go to my chat with Smokey, I can tell you the exact date that I officially became Christian. Where is he? There he is. Is he going to tell me the date? Okay, so June 29th is the official date that I became a Christian. And then I was baptized in July, so July 19th. So yeah. So I've been a Christian officially since June, and we're in December now. So it's been about 6 months, almost 6 months that I've been a Christian. But this week has really been the first time that I've really kind of talked about being a Christian. And the reason for that was actually, it was a little bit of fear, honestly. I was really hesitant because I was worried I was going to be judged really harshly. So all this nonsense that's happened with Isaac and all that stuff has kind of provided the opportunity for me to sit here and actually openly discuss being a Christian, which has been really freeing for me. And last night, I kind of felt like I was in a place where I could post my baptism video, and I wasn't going to worry about the judgment. Um, it was, it, it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. It's like, I want to share this, but I was really hesitant to for months. But now I'm in a place where I'm not worried about that judgment. If people want to come and question me about why my beliefs changed, I'm totally open to discussing that. I'm also open to discussing what possibly changed my mind. Um, so if there's anyone out there that's kind of questioning that from me, then please, absolutely feel free. Message me, message me on Discord, message me here. Wherever it is that I have contact with you, you have the ability to jump in my stream and ask me questions. But it has been very freeing to be able to openly talk about it on my channel. That is something that I have really been struggling with. So that's much to Isaac's dismay. That is something that I can give Smokey more credit for, is providing me the opportunity to more openly discuss my Christianity on my YouTube channel and share my baptism video and not be afraid. He kind of really helped me with that, and I appreciate that. So that's another good thing that Smokey has done. Sorry, Isaac. Well, sorry, not sorry, but it is what it is. But I had yeah, so basically the timeline of how stuff worked is I had been going to church for probably about 2 months, and I was really, really enjoying it. And then one Sunday, my pastor, who doesn't normally at the end of a sermon say, if you're ready to accept Jesus, come up here and I will pray with you and we'll accept Jesus in front of the congregation. And in real life, I'm a very shy and reserved person. And I wanted to get up there with my pastor and pray and accept Jesus in front of the whole congregation. I really, really did. But because of that shyness, I couldn't make myself get up and do it. I was really hesitant. There was a gentleman that did get up and pray, and everybody made a big deal out of it and clapped and prayed, and it was, everything was wonderful. And I really wanted to make that declaration in front of everybody, but again, my shyness kept me from doing that. So after the sermon, I came home, and it was really weighing on me that I didn't get up and pray with the pastor, which funnily enough is Pastor Josh. And so it really just kind of was sitting with me all day. And we went over to my in-laws for dinner, and it was hitting me hard. So my church is small enough that I actually have my pastor and his wife's telephone numbers. So I texted his wife, Amy, who I absolutely adore. She's one of the most wonderful women in the whole world. I love her to death, and I would do anything for her. She is just the the kindest woman I think I have ever met in my life. She's gentle, she's kind, she's funny. She's one of those people that when you meet, you just instantly trust her because you can see her goodness just oozing out of her pores. So I texted Amy and I said to her that it was really weighing on me that I didn't pray in church and that I wanted to get up and do it, but I couldn't do it because it was in front of all of these people. So Pastor Josh was like, "Okay, cool. Come over to our house." So I was like, "Okay." So I hopped in my car. I drove over to their house because they only live about 15 minutes away from where we are. And we sat around his dining room table and we prayed together and I accepted Jesus. And it felt right. I and it still kind of boggles my mind how heavily that was sitting on me that entire day that I didn't get up and do it in front of the church. And it's like God was really, really pushing me to say, you know what, this is something that you want to do. This is something that you need to do. You need to go do it. And I'm very fortunate that I had the ability to reach out to my pastor and tell him this so that way he invited me over and we prayed and all of that. And it felt right. Like that's the best way I can describe it. I think it felt very freeing, um, and brought me a lot of joy. And let me tell you, I'm crying is a thing that I really struggle with. I have a hard time crying in front of other people. I have been with my husband for 13 years. 13 years. And even now, I still have a really difficult time crying in front of him. And he is, the person that knows me the best in this entire world. So, hi, East Max. How are you? So, uh, but it just seemed like every time I went to Pastor Josh's house, I was crying about something, which is kind of funny in retrospect. But I like, I accepted God with my pastor and his wife there that night. And I bawled my eyes out that night. And there was so much emotion that just came out of me that night. And that kind of told me that that was the right thing to do. This is what was supposed to happen. This was the path that I was supposed to be on, and everything felt like it was falling into place. Um, and I mean, I'm not saying that my life has completely changed since becoming a Christian. There's a lot of things about my life that haven't changed. It's more so my outlook on the world has changed, and the way that I see things and just the inner peace, that I was seeking kinda gave me something that I was missing. I'm a new one too. Well, nice to meet you. Yeah, it's going on about 6 months for me. I officially accepted Jesus on June 29th of 2025. And, yeah, ooh, I hit something on my phone. There we go. Um, but yeah, it was a really good experience. So then if we fast forward, because it was just 3 weeks later or so that I was baptized, and I wasn't originally so our church has this giant church picnic every year. There is 2 people that a husband and wife who own a fairly large property with a giant pond not far from the main campus of our church. And they host the picnic every year because our church has 2 they call them campuses. Our churches have 2 campuses, one that's very local in town and one's outside of town. And so we come together as one congregation for this picnic. And they do baptisms at this property at the picnic every year. So my pastor reached out to me. He called me and he's like, "So, can I talk to you about when you're being ready to be? You want to come too?" Okay. Like, I'm in Arizona. Well, I'm in Pennsylvania, so that's quite a drive. But hey, if you're in Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania next year in July, then you absolutely can come to the the church picnic. But anyway, so my pastor called me and he wanted to talk to me about baptism and he wanted to talk to me how I felt about it because I had told him that after I prayed and accepted Jesus, I needed some time to really um think about things because I was like I didn't know what to expect, honestly. But he kind of talked me through it and he's like, you need to do what you feel is right for you. We do baptisms every 6 months. Um, so he's like, if you want, we can do it, and you just need to let me know so that we can set it up. And part of the reason I didn't want to get baptized that particular reason, or that weekend, I mean, was that my mother-in-law wasn't going to be available. And I really wanted my in-laws to be there because I knew that my personal faith journey was important to them and they had actually helped support me through it. And being baptized is like it is a monumental moment. It's a milestone um into being a Christian. So I wanted my family there. I wanted the two people that had supported me through this to be there. My father-in-law was going to, but my mother-in-law was not going to be available. So when I talked to my pastor and I told him about that, I was like, I really want her to experience that. I want her to be there and be a part of it because she's important to me. And he reiterated the point that it was really up to me. It was I needed to do what I felt God wanted. I had to do what was best for me in my faith journey. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I wanted to be baptized that weekend. So I sat down and I had a conversation with my mother-in-law and I explained to her, I'm like, this is something I really want you to witness. I know you're not going to be there. And I don't want to upset you by being baptized when you're not available to see it. And she reassured me and said the same thing, like, hey, you know what? It's totally okay. If this is something that you feel like you need to do this particular weekend and I'm not there, then you need to do what you need to do. Like, do what you feel like God is telling you. And so I did. My father-in-law was there, and my husband, who was not a Christian, actually joined me to witness it. So that video that I showed you is me in their giant pond getting dipped in the water. Um, I had water shoes on because it was a pond and I don't like natural bodies of water. It really gives me the ick. If I'm gonna swim, it's gotta be in a pool. But they're like, no, we're gonna do it in the pond. So that's what it was really interesting because they have done multiple baptisms in this pond before.
Small side note, my wife is terrified of going into any kind of natural bodies of water because she doesn't like the fishes. And I was irritating the hell out of her all week prior to this, saying, you're going to feel the fishies swim past your feet when they go in the water. Did you feel the fishies swim past your feet?
I was wearing water shoes. Why you gotta tell my secrets? You need to go away now. I got baptized in a river. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I got baptized in a giant pond. And yeah, as my husband said, I really don't like natural bodies of water and the critters that live. It's not really the water so much, it's the critters that live in the water that give me the ick. So if I'm gonna swim, it's gotta be in a pool. But anyway, so they had this little area set up particularly for baptisms with the stairs leading down into the water. Um, I have a small little I was given 2 crosses after I was baptized. One with a nail and one on a chain. So the one on the chain I carry with me at all times in my purse. And then the other one was actually nailed into a tree. So what I didn't know until afterwards was the folks that host this church event have this giant tree. So as soon as you go up those steps to get out of the water, there's like, I can't remember if it was a tree or a pole. It might have been the zip line pole. I can't remember, but it was either a tree or a pole that was just outside of the steps. And what you did afterwards is you nailed your cross into this pole, and they have a collection of these tiny little silver crosses of all the people that have been baptized in their pond. And that's really beautiful. It's just nice to commemorate, and it's nice knowing that one of those crosses up on that pole is mine. I was one of 7 people that got baptized that weekend, and yeah, I have a much more positive outlook on life. I feel inner peace a lot more. And I'm, like I said in my testimony when I talked the other night on my stream, I guess it's hard to describe really about, because a lot of the changes in becoming a Christian have been changes within myself, the way that I feel, the way that I look at life, the way um, that I do things, the way that I approach things. There's a lot of beliefs that I held that I feel like I need to re-examine about how I feel about them. Um, and that's going to be something that I have to reflect on. That's something that no one can really tell me how to do. It's something that I need to work out on my own. Right now, my focus is studying the Bible and prayer. Prayer has something that has been extremely difficult for me because I've never really done it. And I guess, kind of felt a little embarrassed about that. But again, I attribute that a lot to my shyness and my very passive personality. And someone in my Bible study actually gave me some really good advice and said, if you're going to talk to God in your car when you're by yourself and you're driving somewhere. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense and actually has really, really helped. I usually pray on my own. I haven't prayed out loud with someone else yet because I don't have that confidence yet. My father-in-law asked me to say the blessing at Thanksgiving, and there was going to be 30 members of our family there, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I am so not ready for that yet. And he's like, no, I totally understand. And it's like, I don't, I guess part of me is just really afraid of looking like an idiot because praying is something that I never really did, you know? Um and it just seems like when other people pray, they know what to say and how to say it. And I sit here and I'm like, what if I say the wrong thing or I don't say it correctly, or you know what I mean? Or I forget to say something that I should say. So it's just, I'm very highly critical of myself. So I have to remember I have to give myself a little grace because I'm still learning. But it's still at the same time, I'm very harsh on myself. Like, hey, you need to do this better. So I know that a prayer eventually will come to me as something that I can do really without thinking. And hopefully it will become a point where it's like second nature to me. But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I do pray for other people, but I do that in the privacy of, my own room. And I do pray for my friends. Um, I have a handful of people that are important to me that I pray for every night. And, um, you know, it feels good to pray for other people because it feels like you're helping look out for them, that you have their best interest in mind. And, um, It's something that makes me feel good. I think overall, just becoming a Christian has really, really changed my mindset for the whole world, you know? Something that I've never really talked about is, the fact that death has always been a very daunting topic to talk about or even just think about, right? And I I think it's called, fear of missing out, FOMO. Why, hello there, Peace Frog, welcome. Thank you for stopping in. If you guys could all do me a favor and drop a like on the stream, I would appreciate that. Um, but, as an atheist, I always thought that, it was hard to kinda wrap my mind around when you die, you just being gone and just the world going on without you. And it was like, that's what I believed, but in my head and my heart, it was just really hard to wrap my head around that concept. Um, it was interesting because I had, last not was it last year? Yeah, it was last year in 2024. I had gone out to a bar with my husband to watch the Super Bowl. And it's gonna sound silly telling you this story, but I had been sick, and I didn't know that I was sick, and I drank a full alcoholic beverage, and suddenly I felt, like, really, really bad. Like, I started getting really warm, I felt really nauseous, and I said to my husband, I'm like, "We need to go outside where it's cold, like, I need to get out of here because I don't feel so hot." So my husband went to go pay for the drinks. I stood up, and then the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the floor. Apparently, I had passed out. I'd fainted. And it's really strange because I had never fainted before. And I didn't even feel it coming on. Like when I stood up and I was talking to my husband, I remember telling him that I needed to get outside, and then I don't remember anything else. And apparently I just kind of crumpled like a slinky. And it's kind of funny because we were in the back of the bar and I kind of crumpled against the back wall and my face did the whole cartoonish sliding down the wall as I passed out. But I don't remember any of that. Like nothing, no recollection, nothing. It was black. And then I remember coming to and I was laying on my back on the floor and all these people were around me. Um, and I didn't know what had happened. So that kind of really got me thinking about death, which is, I guess, a weird segue into that, but it was like my brain just shut off and everything was done and black, and I didn't know what happened in that couple of minutes that I was unconscious. And it's much like sleep, right? Like you don't know what happens when you're sleeping. You go to sleep at a certain time, you wake up at a certain time, and how many hours have passed in between. And there's I don't know, it just seems like and maybe this is just my hopefulness, but that can't be it, you know? I There's so much that we don't understand about our world and about where we come from, what happened, you know what I mean? Like, science doesn't have the answers to that, and I don't think that we're ever really gonna truly have real scientific answers. But I've experienced things that I can't explain throughout my life. And so have a lot of other people. And it's comforting to believe that there's something else after this, you know? I was in a coma for a week and there wasn't any dreams. Yeah, I've heard that. But then I've also heard people that have been in comas and have heard everything, you know? And it just seems like it's different for different people. Um, and I don't know. I find comfort in the fact that death is not the end, because I don't want it to be. I want to be able to see my loved ones again. I want to be able to continue on in some sort of sense. You know, I want to find peace. I want to literally be able to rest in peace, and happiness. And I find comfort in the fact that that's going to happen. You know, I'm going to be able to see my loved ones again. I really like to see my Nana again. And that kind of stuff keeps me going. It means that death isn't the end, it isn't daunting. You know what I mean? And even if, let's just say, if that doesn't end up being true, the comfort that it provides me in life is enough for me, right? Because I can't ever really see there being a way for us to prove concretely either way that the afterlife is real or that it's not real. Because once you're dead, you can't come back and tell anybody, right? You can't come back and say, "Hey, I'm in heaven," or "Hey, I'm in uh is it Jannah? I can't remember what heaven is for Islam. Um but like there's there's no way for someone to come back and confirm that yes, this is what happens, or yes, this is the afterlife that you get, or there is no afterlife, you know? And I guess I'm just kind of talking through this belief system. So I apologize if it seems like I'm kind of disconnected. It's something that has been rolling around in my head. And like I told Smokey on a comment, I'm still just really trying to work out what my other beliefs are and how they align with Christianity. Because when you believe in a religion, it's not just, okay, I believe in God and everything else stays the same, right? It really changes you as a person. And how does that affect your other beliefs? And how does that conflict with it? And I'm kind of at that stage right now where I'm trying to figure that out, where I align with my other beliefs, which is funny when I think, because I think it's been non-denom, whatever that person's name is. I remember Smokey said it, but I can't remember what it is. But sitting here saying that I believe in killing babies, because I did support abortion, and I have for a really, really long time. And I kind of have to navigate through this new belief system and how it affects those other beliefs. You know, and that's really something that you can only do on a personal level because your beliefs are very personal. Um, and you kind of have to follow your heart. I went through that stage and I learned why God does what he does and wants what he wants. Yeah, and I mean that's kind of part of the whole journey, right? That's why we call it a faith journey, because it's not something that just, and that was my biggest thing. That was my biggest struggle, is because I had this expectation that when you believed in God, there was something that just convinced you that God was real, and that belief would just turn on like a light switch. Like one day, someone would just say something to you, and
What? Did we become best friends?
I got a text message. I forgot my phone was on. Oh, it just went into bedtime mode. That's why you're not supposed to go into bedtime mode on the weekend. You're supposed to go only on weekdays. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. Are you still playing? Okay, cool. But yeah, anyway, so you kind of have to navigate through your belief system. And I'm still kind of at that stage as I'm still trying to figure everything out. Belief is not a light switch that just turns on for you one day. It's a gradual thing as more and more things kind of line up and make sense. And one of the factors for me that kind of really hit home that there was belief there, or that I was starting to believe, or I already believed, was I found myself talking to Jesus. And I was doing it without even really intentionally doing it. I was just kind of doing it. Um, you go through a stage where God narrows down the evil in your own soul so you can change. Yeah. I mean, this whole path is a learning experience. And I have believed my entire life that things happen to us for a reason to make us into the people that we are. And I look at that as the positive things and the negative things. And a lot of people um, will say, well, why does God let bad things happen? And why does he let you get hurt? Why does. And for me, the way that I make sense of that is because it's building me as a person, right? It's teaching me what I need to learn. And I kind of had that mindset long before I even was turning to Christianity, because I went through a really abusive childhood with my mother. And most people would look at that and be like, well, why did God let you suffer so long? Why did he let someone abuse you? Because it turned me into the person that I am now. Was it a bad thing that happened? Yes, it absolutely was. But it's still part of my story and still part of how I became who I am today. And I'm proud of the person that I am. I'm happy with the person that I am. And would I still be that person if those bad things hadn't happened to me? Right? Like there was lessons in that I needed to learn to be able to turn to God. Trials and tribulations do teach you many lessons. Yeah, absolutely. If you had to be perfect to be a Christian, there would be none. It's okay to come as you are and learn. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm really enjoying learning. That's why I'm doing Bible study. That's why I'm making sure that I'm going to church every week, weather permitting, of course. Um, that's why I'm like jumping in live streams and talking to people about it, because I feel like I'm at a stage of this Christianity where I'm just kind of soaking up everything and trying to learn as much as I can. And I'm enjoying it. When I walk out of church after a sermon, I feel really good. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be learning. And it's really funny because the sermons that my pastor does, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but it almost feels like the sermons that I'm going to and that he's preaching apply to me personally. And I really like that because he takes a lesson from the Bible and he translates it into how we live our lives today in the modern world. An apology I use is being fed only sugar drinks your whole life, and God's word feels like I'm drinking cool water. Analogy. You feel it in your soul. Yeah, I can agree with that because that really kind of I guess I just kind of realized it, right? Like it wasn't a light switch. It was just, hey, I'm a believer. I don't really know how long I felt this way because I can't really pinpoint a very specific point of where I went from non-believer to believer. And that was my mistake thinking that it would be a very defined moment like that, but it wasn't. Um, and that was just another lesson that I needed to learn. And I had always thought that for years. I had actually thought that. And I thought, when I was going to church in Canada, back when my older children were very young, I had stopped going to church because I had felt like, hey, I'm not getting this. I'm doing something wrong. I don't believe like these folks. And maybe I'm just not meant to be a believer. And I turned away from the church and I stopped going and kind of went down the path of atheism there. But that too happened for a reason because I needed to learn about belief and how it actually works, and I needed to experience it. And I don't think that that's something that anyone could have ever actually told me. It was something that I needed to go through on my own and figure out on my own, in order to get where I am. And I'm quite happy with where I am, because everything that's happened up until this point has brought me, like, this church family, these people that I'm learning from. These are the people that God wanted me to be with. And there could have been anything that happened in my life up until this point that could have been small or could be major, but there's anything could have happened to direct me away. But it didn't. I'm right where I am. This is where I'm meant to be. This is where God wants me to be. It's comforting knowing God hears our thoughts throughout the day. We always have a connection to him. Yeah. And that was part of, like, the big revelation for me, was I found myself talking to God, like, and I don't know how many people actually do this, but, like, my brain doesn't shut off because I have the tism. And so there's my thought constantly running, constantly running. Give me a sec here. I will add you to the stage.
Whoa, I got on the big screen.
Oh, you did. I don't know what happened there. Here. There we go.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
I know I've seen
absolutely.
you in side chats and stuff.
Yeah, we had a similar experience with some of those antagonizing Christians around here. Same thing
Mhm.
happened to me when I first entered the scene, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting that, being a new Christian, I know you said that you were a new Christian yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, why would they want to be so harsh to chase, like, what if we were fragile enough that that could have changed our minds? Why would
Oh
you want
well, it's really just an association with Smokey. That's all that it comes
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's it kind of upset me actually. I can't even lie to you because here I am thinking that okay, well, these people may just not like certain people and yada yada yada, but
Mhm.
to go and name call you the way they did was upsetting, especially for people who have been in the faith a lot longer. They should know better than that.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely should, but it is what it is. God
Yeah.
prepares us for this kind of stuff, and I just need to be more confident in my faith so that way when judgment comes at me, I can deal with it better.
Yeah, it's I mean, a lot of these people in that crowd don't even go to a church at all, period. Like they don't believe in that. So that
Mhm.
should tell you all you need to know. Um they
Yeah, and I mean,
they
like,
think they got it all figured out, but they don't do any fellowship in real life with anyone.
yeah, and that's really a shame because, like, that's a big part of what brought me to Christ in the first place, was being around his people
Mhm.
and experiencing them and, feeling that faith, experiencing their faith and listening to their stories really made an impact on
It's
me.
really powerful.
Mhm.
I always think of it like we're all little individual churches, and then when you get together with a bunch of people and make a much larger church by having a bunch of people in the same area,
Mhm.
filled with the Holy Spirit, you could feel it.
Yep. And, like,
Um,
I can
and it,
honestly say, like, my first experience of, because I was really kinda hesitant, and I was like, "I don't really know what the Holy Spirit feels like." I
mhm,
don't I can't describe it, but night in particular at Bible study, we were all praying, and because it was at the end, and I was surrounded by all of these people that I absolutely adore now because I've gotten to know them, and I felt like this is the Holy Spirit. This is me being filled with the Holy Spirit, is just
mhm.
enjoying these people, and I can actually really feel it, and I don't know how you could miss out on that experience.
I know it really makes me look back at my life, especially being a newer Christian. I've been around Christianity for about 8 years, but
Mhm,
in the beginning, I never really took it seriously. I was an agnostic individual that was more atheist leaning.
mhm,
Um, but I was always in the back of my mind having this idea that like no matter how hard I try to prove to myself that there is no God, like I just couldn't shake the notion that there was. So I got
mhm,
introduced into Christianity about 8 years ago, and I was more so like, okay, well, I believe, but
mhm.
I didn't really believe.
Yeah.
And now fast forward to the point where I'm at now, looking back at the rest of my life on how much grace I missed out on, how much
Mhm.
of the Holy Spirit I missed out on, like my life would have been so dramatically different if I always had that.
Yeah.
And while I can't say that I envy people that grew up in a Christian household, um, I do look at it as okay, I wonder what I would have been like if I had the Holy Spirit and a belief in Christ from a young age.
Mhm.
How different would I really have been? Because I think I would have been a whole different person.
Mhm.
But I don't regret any of that though, because it made me who I am today. And
Yeah,
at least I
exactly.
found God at some point in
Mhm.
my life, right? So
Yeah. You
it's
found
all
God
worth
when you
it.
were meant to find God, yeah.
hmm It really is in His timing, and
Yep.
it radically changed my life. It wasn't like an overnight thing, like you said. I was
Mhm.
kind of grinding away at it slowly but surely for about 8 years. And this year I was like, you know what? I'm not half foot in, half foot out anymore.
Yep.
I'm not going to kind of ride the fence, if you will.
Mhm.
For some reason, it just was eating away at me that I'm not taking this as seriously as I should. So
Yeah.
I just decided to go all in, head first,
Mhm.
dive right into the Word of God in Christ, and it's
Mhm.
been amazing.
It's life-changing.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, I can't tell you, I feel like a different person, I feel energized, but I also feel that peace in finding this. You
Now,
know
one
what I
thing I
mean?
will warn you though, because at least I had this perception, and I know a lot of other people have this perception that it's just going to be all sunshine and roses and
Mhm.
magical and just a beautiful, loving relationship. But
Mhm.
truth be told, at least in my experience and some other people that I've known that are new Christians, you do start to get kind of spiritually attacked a little bit more the closer you grow to God.
Mhm.
And you just gotta be tough,
Mhm.
there's no way around it. You'll start to question a lot of things and have a lot of doubt and have people come
Mhm.
against you and try to tear you down for just
You
being a Christian.
question, "Did you make the right choice?" Yep.
Yeah, and I'm at the season of my life now where it's like I'm on my own journey. I'm figuring out as I go, and if somebody wants to, come against me, or Satan wants to come attack me, well,
Mhm.
I'm still gonna march forward
Yep,
with
that's all
Christ
you
by
really
my
can
side.
do. Yep.
Yep, I'm
Yep.
all in it for life at this point. There's no going back for me.
I feel the exact same way. And actually, when I sat down with my pastor, that was one of the first things that I asked him. I said, "Do you ever doubt your faith, or did you ever doubt God? Like, what did
Mhm.
you do in those instances?" And he said, "Yeah, like even as a pastor, I
Yeah.
still now deal with doubt." Um, but and everybody does. It's just how you address it and how you come out of it, right?
Oh,
Everybody doubts at
absolutely.
some point. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest thing to do is to just deny Christ and just live for the world. It's so easy to just give up on this thing that we can't actually physically see and hold inside of
Yep.
our hands. It's so easy to deny that. And I did that for about 33 years. I'm 33,
Mhm.
almost 34. So, I
Yeah.
was very comfortable just denying the existence of God up until the point where He made it very, very obvious to me that this is a real thing that's going on.
Yep.
Maybe through more conversations, we'll get into kind of how I came to Christ. But yeah, there was just an event that happened in my life that I was like, okay, I see the hand of God working in my life here.
Mhm.
There's no denying it now. So I might as well just go all in at this point. No looking
Yep.
back.
And I'm kind of there wasn't one singular event really that changed my mind, but when I look back at my life,
Mhm.
especially in the last 5, 6 years, I can see where God's kind of pushed me in a
Yeah.
certain direction. Like, this is what you need to do. This is, you know what I mean? Like, I have a plan for you. You're gonna get there, but you need to do this first,
Yeah, and the
right? So
fun part of the journey is you never get to see
yeah.
the whole path. You just kind of
Mhm.
gotta take a little step here, a little step there, a little
Yep.
step there. And
Yep.
yeah,
And then you
to
learn what you need to learn, and you just do it under what God has got.
yeah, and we're no one's perfect. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're gonna say things that may not bring him the most amount of honor that we can, but as long as we try to do better every day, then I think that's the way to go. And not to linger on the mistakes, not to linger on the shortcomings, but just focus on him and continue to grow and grow stronger. And to clarify, I guess what I mean to say is it was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. It's like that one last little nugget I needed to finally fully believe. And so gracious to have gotten that. So I think, Mindy, you may have muted yourself, maybe? Or maybe it's me. Oh yeah, that same exact thing happened to me a couple of nights ago, actually. Well, I mean, this is your channel. I really don't want to take over or anything, so I'll just wait till you get back. I was actually going to do a stream tonight myself, but I saw you were live, and I figured I'd come say hi. Especially after the treatment that you've been given recently. Not all Christians are like that, that's for sure. Hey, if you're out there, don't forget to like the stream. Show some love. Don't be a hater. Be an embracer.